along to WITSUP TV webisode number 1.
Oh no, yes, I'm Nat Garonzi and I'm the sidekick to Chief Steph Hansen.
Hi!
I kind of want the Muppets to like pop up and go, yay!
We can arrange that.
Yes, I love this. Now, this is the very first episode or webisode of WITSUP TV, and it was an idea given to us by one of yous guys. Don't know who it was, but I love you heaps. Because it stemmed from you and me having a gas bag, surprisingly, down in Geelong.
Weird. Yeah, I know. We were having a chat roadside. I think Delicar was in the middle of the road telling people...
Looking like he wanted his life to end.
Yeah, a little bit. And yeah, we're having a chat about the race and all things triathlon, and this lady has written into us saying, you guys are idiots, but you're semi-entertaining. Why don't you take that show on the road?
Yes. And torture everyone else with blather.
Here we are.
Welcome for you. Also, we figured you don't have enough jobs.
I really don't. I'm quite bored these days. So
you need more things.
Yeah, you're right.
And I like hanging around your things. Ooh, edit. Let's talk about what's going on in the first episode before I hate myself even more. We have someone who rambles even harder and faster than we could ever dream, the uber fabulous Belinda Granger.
Oh, it's great to have her on board. She's currently in Hawaii, fresh from her Hawaii 70.3 win. Legend. Yes.
We've got Ironman Cairns champ, Ms. Liz Blatchford.
On debut, takes out the Ironman Cairns event. Fantastic race, one of the best races I've seen between 1 and 2. So awesome to chat to her.
Coming off the back of Meredith Kessler's little accident that she had when an age grouper knocked her off her bike. We're going to talk about bike skills and stuff.
Yes, and lack thereof in the triathlon talent pool, unfortunately, but we are going to more details about that later. Meredith is okay as well. We heard from her, so just letting you know that she's doing okay.
We're going to talk about psychological games.
Ooh, psychological.
On the course.
Cycle.
I didn't actually mean that, but well done you.
Yep.
Or because it's a women's site, it could be that kind of cycle.
Oh, so many layers.
Like
many layers.
Ganache cake. Do they have layers? I don't even eat sweets. I don't know.
I don't eat cakes.
I don't like cakes either.
I like muffins though.
Do you? I don't like savoury muffins.
Really? Yeah, I'm used to because I figured that muffins.
Let's move forward. What else? Oh, we're going to talk to Casey, another person that likes a bit of a chat.
Yeah, Casey was our original WITSUP.com scholarship ambassador. I need to think of a shorter name for that thing, but anyway. You get the gist. She was our original winner and she's had a fantastic year. She's going to Kona later this year as well, which is great. So we're going to have a chat to her and give you all a few tips if you are applying for 2013-14 ambassador competition.
Future eps of the WITSUP webisode, WITSUP TV show. Yep. We're going to be doing race reports, more fun race reports. We've got heaps more stupidity. We're easing into the stupidity. We're trying to keep the crazy levels down.
Definitely, just little bits at a time.
It's like when you're in a relationship and you meet someone and you hold back the crazy until they're in love with you, and then you let the crazy out because it's too late, they're trapped. Hello to my ex-boyfriend. Yeah. But that's pretty much what we're doing. We're going to make you love us in the first one.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you can wonder why your life isn't ending for the rest of them. Oh, actually, we've talked enough.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like we've talked enough. Should we give the baton to someone who can ramble even harder and even faster?
We probably should. We are going to hand the baton over to one of our own ambassadors, actually, Belinda Granger. Despite all of the Ironman events that she's won and copious amounts of triathlons, we are about to set her the biggest challenge of her life, trying to keep this interview under 5 minutes. Well, welcome along, Belinda.
Yay! It's the biggest challenge of your life, BG.
Yes, by far.
Yeah. Now, BG is fresh from her Hawaii 70.3 win and...
Also the win in Taiwan.
So, BG, we want to know, were you gunning for that top step of the podium? Did you think you'd actually get there?
Challenge Taiwan, definitely. The sole purpose of that race was to try and win, and I went in there with that focus. For Hawaii 70.3, I just didn't know. I hadn't raced it for a few years. I didn't know how I'd pulled up after doing challenge. It wasn't that long, I think just on a month. Yeah. And the way the race panned out, I really thought Bree Wee was going to take the title. She was so good on the bike and also on the swim. And really, I think she had just under 7-minute lead off the bike, and the girl can run. So I'd honestly thought second place, and I was happy with second. I really, as long as I finished on the podium, I would have been happy with that. But then, you never know till it's over, and Unfortunately, Bree just, I think the pressure of a hometown race and also just not probably expecting to have such a lead. Instead of controlling it, I think she just went a little bit too hard, took a wrong turn on the bike, on the run course, and of course that's enabled me to take the win.
And like you say, a win's a win, and that's all part of it. You know, the mental race is just as important as the physical race. And you know, if that gets to you and you go the wrong way, then you know, unfortunately. But she seemed to take it all in her stride as well.
Oh, she did. She's a gorgeous girl. You know, I understand why Bree's so popular over here. She really is a lovely person, and look, she's still learning as a pro. I've seen her improve physically over the years to be a brilliant athlete that she is today. She just needs to work a little bit more on the mental side, keeping it controlled, keeping control of her emotions. And, you know, she's a very emotional racer, which is not a bad thing as long as you can keep them in check. And she had all her friends and family out. And the pressure of that can sometimes be too much. I mean, it was like me when I used to race Ironman Australia. I used to let it get to me every time. So I totally understand where she's coming from and totally understand why what happened. But, yeah, I was a little disappointed. No, I didn't celebrate this win like I would celebrate normal wins, but yeah, I'll definitely still take it, especially at my age.
Hey, BG, just from a newbie perspective, when you say you've got to learn to keep your emotions in check, I understand just by saying that, but it actually doesn't automatically just happen. How do you really hone that skill?
Oh, it's tough, and I suppose putting yourself in that situation over and over again is the best way. But I sometimes will close my eyes, take a deep breath, especially when I get off the bike. You know, in T2, that's your time to slow down. She had the time. She had 7 minutes. That's enormous in a half Ironman.
Yeah.
And she should not have gone for it from the gun. She should have said, okay, even speak to herself, okay, I have 7 minutes on the next female. This race is mine to control.
Yeah.
And she didn't. She was running way too quickly. I could see it when we were on the out and back. That she was going way too quickly. And I even yelled out to her and said, you know, Bree, this is yours.
Yeah.
Don't.
That's awesome.
Take it.
Because I think my exact words, you know, Bree, you're having a great race. This is yours. You're making the rest of us look silly. That was my exact words. Because at that stage of the game, she was where there was daylight second. So, but it's also a lesson that, especially the longer the distance, Ironman distance, never give up.
I want to talk to you a little bit more. I mean, we spoke to Liz Blatchford a couple of weeks ago, and she said in races that you guys have been together in, I think it was Koh Samui, you're yelling out words of encouragement and advice while you're actually still racing, and she's like, how the heck are you doing it? But do you see yourself as almost a mentor for some of these up-and-coming athletes? You know, you said it before, you're towards the end of your career, so do you see yourself sort of morphing into that kind of role?
Look, definitely, and I think I've always been a bit of a mother hen. Yeah. I can't help it, I can't change the way I am. I know it used to frustrate my coach to no end. I know it frustrates my husband to no end because they're like, you're out there competing, they're the enemy, they're your competition. But it's not been the way, and I feel better within myself if I'm out there helping. So, more so now. I mean, obviously back in the day when I was there to win a race, then I was there to win a race or to race as well as I could. But I think, now I know that there's the changing of the guard, and I know that these guys are the future of our sport, and I want to look after the future of our sport. I want to nurture the future of our sport, and I don't do it to everyone. I definitely have my favourites out there. So there's some athletes that I'll give heap of thoughts, and others that I might not bother.
What about the huge future ahead of you?
Yeah.
What's next for you, VG?
You know, I savour every win. You know, I savour it as my last one. Right, this is definitely the last one. I'm not going to do it again, and then of course you do it again. But for me, and I get asked this question a lot. You know, someone wrote on Twitter the other day, "Has Belinda found the fountain of youth?" But I don't think I have. I just think I'm not doing any better or any worse, but I'm just still racing with love. Oh, this sounds so corny, doesn't it? With a happy heart, with love. But I do. I love what I do. So, you know, when you love what you do, it's not a chore, it's not a struggle. I don't I don't cry at the end of races because it's all too hard, or say to myself, I don't want to be here anymore, because I do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I went to squad last night and swam with the aquatic squad here in Kona, and I'm swimming with kids that are 13, 14, and they're whipping my butt. But I loved it. Yeah. And I get to the end of the pool and I'm half a length behind. I'm like, yeah, let's go again. I'm cramping in my feet, and they're all like swimming, and I'm cramping and this and that like an old woman. But you know, when I got home, it was an hour squad, and it took me like 4 hours to come down from it. So I just genuinely love it all, not just the racing or the travel or the training. It's the entire package. So I think when you genuinely love what you do, everything's possible. And I've that retirement word is gone.
Yes. I love that.
Well,
I might scale it back a bit, but that's about it.
And you've actually just signed up again with Jagged?
Yeah.
Yes, very exciting.
You
It's
with
funny.
them early on in your career?
Yes, they look, and you know what? The original owners of Jagged were extremely good to me. They really gave me my first real, what I considered a real true professional contract. You know, with a retainer and bonuses, and treated me like a professional. Made me custom kits and flew to Germany to watch me do Challenge Roth the year I won it with my parents. So they were pretty cool people, and they really set me up for the start of my professional career. So to be able to finish my career with the same company, obviously owned by different people, but same ideology, and it's pretty cool. And I really like the athletes that have teamed up with them this year for the relaunch. Clayton Fattel, you know, he's a real sweetheart, and I think he's got a huge future. So it's going to be a nice team of athletes, and I really like the concept that they're going with.
All right, we are so far past the 5-minute mark.
You
and we're not
suck.
surprised. You failed
That's a
massively.
surprise there.
You felt so
Well,
hard.
it's
But you
5
did
minutes
it
in
along the
BG
way.
land. That's different to normal 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, a BG
True.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's absolutely
It's
true.
like in Fiji, you're on Fiji time. So,
Yeah.
you know, 12:30
Well,
for me.
Fiji time, not Fiji time.
All right, just quickly, we're going to end it with you've got Roth coming up in about 5 weeks, which is your 10-year anniversary, but you've got Philippines 5150 beforehand. Anything else going on in the next couple of months?
Going back to Spain, which I love, down in Marbella with some friends. Was training there probably before and after Germany, after Challenge Roth.
Yep.
Then back to do one of my favourite races of the year, which is Philippines 70.3.
Yep.
And then on to Tandapura, which is the sporting academy in Phuket, to do an all-women's camp first of all, and also to train up for Metaman, which is at the end of August, which is the Olympic distance race on Bintan Island.
Yep.
And then home. So I'm physically not actually back home in Noosa until about the 4th or 5th of September. It's a long time.
Awesome.
But loving it.
Look at you winding down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's only going to be 3 Ironman distance races this year. That's a wind down for me. Normally it's 4 or 5.
Oh.
So that's pretty.
You're still out of control, and we love it. BG, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on board. We love you, and I'll actually see you personally in Roth as well.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward, Meredith Kessler was knocked off her bike by some pretty mediocre bike skills of an age grouper.
Yeah, unfortunately what had happened, she was kind of blindsided by an age group male coming in the opposite direction, I believe. And yeah, head-on collision, knocked off her bike. Nothing was broken, but she did have to go to hospital and, you know, get checked for concussion and all of that kind of jazz.
Is everything okay though?
Everything's okay. We have spoken to her and her husband, and they're all over it to let everyone know that she's okay. But pretty serious sort of accident, particularly because in Kona last year she was actually knocked off her bike as well and suffered from severe concussion, her out of the race. But she is a massive trooper, and she actually continued the bike leg in Kona and started the run until people actually said, dude, you got to get off.
Yeah.
But the entire time she's like, oh, I'm just worried about everyone else because I was riding like this because she was concussed.
Sorry, it's not funny, but that's
not.
amazing. You're wobbling all over the place. You're drooling.
Yeah, time to stop.
Exactly.
But what I wanted to talk about with this, now that we know that Meredith is okay, I want to actually talk about cycling skills for the average triathlete. And I was recently just up in Cairns, and I did the 70.3 event. And
you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Amazing bike course. One of my favourite bike courses because it's quite scenic, but also, you know, there's a few hills in there to separate you out a little bit. You can get out of the time trial bars, and you can also go really fast down the hills.
Yeah.
However, what I did notice that there was a lot of triathletes who...
I'm going to confiscate your pen. Give it to me. I'm confiscating her pen. She flips pens constantly. Yes, descending. Tell me about descending.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people who were struggling with the descending on the hills, and I'm not too sure whether it's they didn't look over the course beforehand, so they didn't know how tight the corners were, how fast they were going to be going, and they couldn't allow for the crosswinds coming off the water.
It was really windy out there.
Yeah, it got quite windy. windy, particularly for the Ironman athletes, I think. So, you know, I found that there's a lot of people up on their brakes going down a hill, which actually means you're getting hit by the wind a lot more than what you would if you're actually down on your time trial
slowing you
bars.
down a lot more.
Yeah, so it's slowing you down, and also you're going to get thrown around a lot more, particularly if you're not a strong cyclist. So what I tend to do in those situations, I mean, I love going fast anyway, but I am down in my time trial bars, and I put in a really low gear so that I've got control over the bike. So
you're not doing speed wobbles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, yes, it's going to make your time split faster in the race, but it's also a lot safer for other athletes. And, you know, Meredith was a perfect example of someone with not many bike skills affecting, you know, a professional's race, and very, very dangerous as well. So, you know, I need to let people know out there, if you're a triathlete, it's not just about going in a straight line like we always train, you know, head down, bum up kind of thing. We need to have some cycling skills. If I look at a lot of photos, and I found a lot in Busso last year, a lot of photos at a corner, and a lot of people have their inside leg down as they go around a corner, which is, you're
dragging it.
Yeah, your pedal's going to hit the ground. Again, poor cycling skills. So, and I just don't think the triathletes concentrate on it enough, and I think it's really, really important. Actually find someone who can take you out and teach you a few skills, and that can be anything from, you know, when to get out of the saddle to go up a hill, what kind of gradient do you want to be out of the saddle. So those kind of techniques, which are not only going to be better for, you know, safety reasons, but make you a more of an efficient rider. So, you know, and then right up to how to descend properly, how to corner properly, but efficiently as well. So you'll end up with better race times, but also a lot more a safer race for yourself, but also for other people.
Bike skills, mofos, get on it.
Do it. All right, now we are welcoming the latest Ironman winner in Australia, Liz Blatchford, about 5 days after her win from Ironman Cairns. Welcome along, Liz.
Woo! Welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, we want to ask, has it actually sunk in last Sunday's event?
Yes, it finally has. It took a few days from all the hype and just to actually get some sleep. But now it's sunk in, and it's just an incredible feeling, and yeah, I couldn't be happier.
You're running around showing your medal to everyone. Woo!
My finisher medal.
Yeah.
Get a finisher t-shirt.
What?
Wearing it everywhere.
I have to write a letter to someone.
Yeah, we'll find
powers.
Yeah, find someone high up and definitely get that sorted.
Now, I'm sure you obviously went into the race with a lot of tactics because you were stepping up, but what did you find out during the race? Like, what did you learn now that you've stepped up to the iron distance?
I learned that I need to do a bit more bike riding.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, I didn't learn that. I knew that going in. Didn't have the ideal prep, so I got in a little underdone and knew that the 180 was going to be tough, and it was every bit that. So that just really slowed me down for the last bit of the bike and the first bit of the run as well. Like, I absolutely felt that. So that I learned for sure, and nutrition needs, probably learned a bit about that. Need to take a bit more on my bike next time, or use the special needs. So definitely things to take from that. Hopefully, get better for next time.
Because the furthest you'd ridden prior to the race was a 200k ride, and you'd stop for lunch and all sorts of business in your training ride. So that was your biggest prep day as far as riding goes, right?
Yeah, it was. That was back in February, and
That's amazing.
I had intended to do a couple more, but then I got quite ill and actually decided that I wasn't going to do Cairns. So that was fine, and the pressure was off, and I was just resting and recovering from my illness, and then I decided to do it again. Didn't manage to fit any more long bike rides in, but that 200k ride back in February, I think it prepared me pretty well.
Yeah, solid.
that one time, yeah. And what about emotionally? How are you feeling through the game and through the race, and mentally as well?
Massive highs and lows. There was a point on the bike where I was actually feeling it's my dog, but
yeah, funny bugger.
There's a point on the bike where I was like, yeah, this rocks. I'm like down in my TT, just loving it, just going, Ironman's the best. And then like 50k later, I was like, oh my, I'm not gonna make this. I'm gonna finish it. Just looking at my watch every first 15k of the marathon, well, actually getting off the bike and the first 15k of the marathon, I really had no clue how I was going to finish, and my mind just kept saying, you're not going to finish, you're not going to finish, and I was just trying to turn that thing off and just one foot in front of the other and ignore it, and then finally my body came around and the mind was like, okay, maybe I can.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So I guess that's a great take-home message for anyone doing Ironman, is that, you know, you'll have massive highs and lows mentally and physically, but it's amazing how you can actually turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, like, I've been doing triathlon a long time and have been around a lot of people that have done lots of Ironmans and obviously lots of coaches, and I was just sort of digging into the depths of my mind and thinking about things that people had told me, and yeah, it was just one thing that Sato had said to me years ago about Ironman, just that it was such a strange, funny race, and obviously it being such a long day, anything can happen out there, and what you're thinking is happening right now can be so different in 2 hours' time. So I just kept hoping that things would be different in 2 hours' time.
How did you celebrate after the race?
We had a few drinks.
Yay!
Yeah, the first thing I did was go and order a burger and have a beer.
Yes.
Which was like, well, that was one thing as well for the marathon, for the whole race. I was just starving. Like, even though, not calories aside, even when I had enough calories in, I just had this empty stomach that was rumbling, and I was like, shut up, stomach. Someone had written on the pavement something about a big juicy steak.
Bastards.
Yeah, I know, how rude. Someone had drawn a giant beer jug, and I was just like, oh, I can't wait to have that. And so that was the first thing I did, and then I came back down to the finish line and like gave medals out to some finishers, which was really fun.
Awesome.
Just like seeing everyone's elation and just the sense of achievement that people get from finishing an Ironman. And yeah, just totally different from any other racing that I've been involved in. You know, people have different goals for Olympic or even half, but you know, to finish an Ironman, no matter who you are, is just, I think, an incredible achievement.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I love that. So, as far as next races, what have you got planned for the rest of the season?
I've been sitting, having a little look at the Kona points and that sort of thing. So Kona was never really an original goal, but there is a chance now that I could sneak into it, and it's definitely a long-term goal. So to go there this year would be, whether I perform well this year or just use it for experience, I think it would be worth my while trying to get there. So I'm not going to kill myself and try and do another Ironman between now and then, because I think that would kind of write off every other race that I've got planned. Which I plan to do High B in Vegas, and I think I'm 90% qualified for those. So
awesome.
So tick the box for those, and they were, Vegas was my main game, my main race aim for this year. And it will remain that. But if I can manage to sneak into Kona this year as well, I just think that would be a really valuable experience for the future.
Absolutely.
So looking at points and potentially racing some more 70.3s to try and bump my points up a bit.
That would be unreal. But I'm telling you now, if you get to Kona, you won't be sneaking into Kona, because we'll be pumping up your tyres, or at least, we'll be excited for you at least anyways.
Thank you. Yeah, nothing goes under the radar with you too. Hey?
No, all over it. Well, Liz, thank you so much for joining us on our very first WITSUP TV webisode. Congratulations again on last weekend. It was awesome to see you and see such a great race unfold between you and Gina Crawford.
Thank you very much. WITSUP TV, get involved.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye, puppy.
Bye.
Coming off the back of talking with Liz, we wanted to have a bit of a chat about the race between her and Gina Crawford at Ironman Cairns.
Yep, it was unreal. The two were neck and neck all day, and then Liz actually took off on the marathon with about 8 or 10 Ks to go. So yeah, like no idea how it was going to pan out. It was interesting because Gina's a phenomenal athlete. She came 7th, I think, in Kona last year, has won a bucket load of Ironman and half Ironman events. And Liz, it was her first time at the Ironman event. So we didn't know who was going to break first or how it was going to pan out. So it was an unreal race. But it was interesting. After the race, I interviewed both of the girls and, sorry, women. I want to say women, not girls.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Very important.
I agree.
Yeah. You pointed that out to me once, actually.
I did. I don't. Girls. It's not girls racing. It's women's racing. They don't say, "Oh, here's the boys. Here's who won the boys or who won the gentlemen's." It's not ladies. It's women.
Good.
Yo.
Good
What do you
point.
think these are?
All right, get off the horse. All right.
Sorry,
So
I
anyway,
can't
back to the event. It's a very interesting point. I like that. But anyway, so what Gina said after the event was that she likes to race and leave it all out there. So she does her own race. She focuses on her own pace, all that kind of stuff. And she was sort of alluding to the fact that Liz was just basically copying her, so following her around the course. She didn't say that Liz was drafting or anything, but she was saying that she sat behind the 12 metres behind that she's legally allowed to sit the entire ride.
So she was being tactical about the race. Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then talking to Liz about it, she basically said, "Yeah, I was learning from one of the best in the business." So I really found it interesting talking to them both. And Gina sort of said, "Look, maybe I need to start approaching my races a little bit differently now, because it seems like now, athletes all come to the starting line, they're all extremely fit. Like the pros in an Ironman are all going to be very, very fit. So the difference is, to get up to that next level, is it going to be all about tactics? So many people talk about Ironman being a mental game, it's 90% mental, 10% physical, all that.
And that's stupid as well. Sorry, that irritates me. I hear that all the time, and I sit there and think, what do you reckon? People wake up in the morning at set their alarms 4:30. They get and they go, I'm going to do a good 6 hours thinking about the race, and then you think about it. Like, all right, get on the bike, pedal down for a coffee, about half an hour. Think about the race. Well, no, it's not that. It might be on the course, but that's the tactical side of it.
Yes.
You can't actually just, go smash some Maccas and then think about it heaps while having a happy meal.
Exactly. Yes, we're saying that the race is very much mental, but generally it's pretty much physical. But that next step is when all the tactics come into play.
Maybe years ago, when people, before the racing had got to the level where it was, where people clearly had better, they were a bit stronger on the bike or stronger on the swim. Now, at the elite end, everyone is so good at all of them that that's the next natural step.
And I think it's exciting for the sport because it shows that there is a massive growth within the sport, but also particularly within the women's side of things, that they're starting to sort of catch on that things need to change a little bit. This is where we're going to play. This is where it's going to play out differently to where it used to in the past.
Well, the men have been doing it for years, and it's not about it. The men are, but it's just they just play do a no bullshit race. They're not au fait about the fact. They're not worried about the fact that it's my competition. It's not just about me. Like, screw you, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, and it was interesting. We were speaking off camera to Belinda Granger because we did have to cut her off.
43 minutes.
She spent the next half an hour talking about things like that. In that, pre-race, everyone says, I'm just here, it's just about my race, I'm just going to go out and do my own thing. Well, no, you cannot do that anymore. You need to be aware of what your competition are like, when they fade on the bike, what their strengths are. And for people to say that they don't do their homework, we call BS.
Yeah.
Because we reckon you do.
I completely agree. Find the mongrel. Just be a mongrel, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Grab onto it with your teeth.
The other thing as well, that's one of the massive differences between the professionals race and the age groupers race, because tactics play a massive part in the pros race.
And the age groupers are really stepping up. I mean, some of them are beating the pros these days.
Well, and that's the thing, that's what a lot of people are saying, age groupers are beating the pros. And yes, time-wise, in Busso 70.3, Rachel Smith had the fastest time. And in Cairns recently, Kim Janke had the fastest time overall in the 70.3. However, they weren't technically beating the pros because they are different races.
Now, why specific? I mean, because that doesn't necessarily make sense. They're not on a different course or anything. So why is the race so different for an age grouper?
So if you look at, let's just go with Kim on the weekend. The age groupers start after the professionals. So the professionals are out there for a lot longer of the time by themselves. So they're not
on the way
surrounded.
start.
Yes, they're not surrounded by a whole bunch of other age groupers. Plus, like I just said, tactics start to play a role within professional racing. So going back even to Busso, and it was interesting because I spoke to Rachel Smith about this. Liz Blatchford was out in front. She had a clear lead. She might have then gone, all right, because she was quite sick before the race, I'm going to pull it in a little bit because I don't want to be completely caning myself on this run or on the ride. And Rachel Smith said, look, if I got off the bike with Liz Blatchford and we were racing neck and neck, she's like, I'm not going to outrun an ex-ITU athlete. So there's different. Liz is racing the people that she knows she's racing. She doesn't know what's happening in the age group back there. So they're very different, but that's not to take away from the amazing races that the age groupers are putting on at the moment. And do you know what? If you put another positive spin on it, look at what's happening with the future of our sport. Like these age groupers may decide to go professional. And there's a lot more depth in the field as well.
So it isn't just about, your swim, bike and run anymore. It's all about racing smart.
Exactly. All right, now we wish to invite along to WITSUP TV for the very first time, Casey, we want to talk to you about the last 12 months. It's been a bit of a whirlwind adventure for you. What have you sort of learnt over the last 12 months?
I don't know where to begin. It's been a huge 12 months. I guess the main thing that I've learnt is about me. I've learned a lot about myself and what I'm capable of, and how to approach different people, and how to deal with people coming up to you and strange situation and being able to deal with that, and talk confidently and having that confidence, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot that's just so broad.
You're tri-famous now. Everyone knows you, Case. You got followers.
People nudge each other and point, and it's taken a lot to get used to, but I'm kind of liking it now.
Any attention's good attention.
Yeah, for sure.
So we want to talk to you about, the last 12 months, obviously your profile has been raised a lot. But let's talk about the training and the racing. Have you seen improvements? You got a lot of support from the sponsors who are on board.
Great support. I mean, physically, training hasn't really changed much. But the support that I've had from the sponsors has made a lot of changes. Having and a nutritionist on at hand going, I've got questions, I need to change my nutrition plan in the lead up to racing. She's there, begging calls, she's fantastic. The pressure's off your shoulders dealing with nutrition. It's so expensive to deal with nutrition, and Andrew at Dextro has been fantastic. So having that pressure taken off, I've got a shit new bike, so that could change from 11-hour Ironman to my PB of a 10:07. So.
Yes, and 1 year, and boom.
I used to train as a dag, and now in my new two gear and Oakleys, it's like, yes, I'm training in style, so it makes you feel good. It really makes you feel good when you've got nice clothes on, you feel great, and so the guys at 2XU, Nicola and Alana, have been fantastic. Em at Oakley, just again, a beg and call and just giving advice on which Oakleys fit best, or have better ventilation and things like that. She's great, and just having the opportunity to do races that I wouldn't normally do. The support, without that, I couldn't do it. Financially, and just couldn't do it. So the last 12 months, I've been taken out of my comfort zone, and I've absolutely loved it.
Awesome.
And you've just kind of demonstrated what one of the big things is that we look for at WITSUP as far as the ambassador. Someone who not only races and works hard and is enthusiastic about the sport, but also understands that there's a business behind it, and a race is a very small part of it. And that you've got sponsors, and you've got to look after your sponsors, and it's not just about wearing the stuff on the day. You want to thank them personally. You want to be tweeting and doing all that kind of jazz, and you've been amazing at that.
Definitely.
I haven't. I was introduced to Twitter the day that I got the phone call from Steph.
That's right.
That's so true.
You can't do this, you can't do that. And I don't get Casey. And for nothing, I tweet Steph and WITSUP. I just want to go.
Every time. So you got the nickname Casey 2 times.
Oh, my phone goes nuts because I get, WITSUP and Steph Hansen. I am my Twitter handle if you want to follow me, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, my phone's like, did it. Casey 2 times.
But even, the support, the relationships that I've got with the sponsors has just, they've become friends.
And that was sort of the whole premise of the idea is, it's not just a 12-month relationship. These are relationships that you've built that will continue for years to come, hopefully. So it's unreal that you feel like that, and I know for sure that the sponsors feel like that as well. We want to quickly ask you just if you've got a couple of tips for people applying for the 2013-14 Scholarship Ambassador role. We know
Because we're getting rid of you, Willoughby. You're gone.
out ski.
See you later.
No way, I'm still hanging around like a bad smell.
Yeah, me too. Woohoo.
I tend to attract people like that. But anyway, tips, Casey, what do you got?
The two main ones, I guess, would be yourself. In the video and your application, you need to sell yourself. Don't make up somebody that you're not, because you can't do it forever, and that will come through.
And we will know.
Be yourself and show how you can provide, support for the sponsors. How can you wear their gear? How can you get it out there? And that's probably the main thing. You're getting, you're showing them. You don't have to be getting results. If you're thinking of applying and you're thinking, oh, well, I won't apply because I'm not coming first, second or third. I wasn't doing that either. And it's just, I've been lucky and had a great year. Everything's come together. But, be yourself, wear the brand, show how you can wear the brand, and don't worry about results. It's not about results. If step one of results wouldn't even have this scholarship going. It would be for professionals only. So
true.
Get your applications in.
Do it.
Do it yesterday.
Well, it's good talking to you, Kate.
Thanks, Casey, too.
Hey, Chief Steph Hansen.
Hey, hanger-onerer, Necronzi.
That's so me. You have just launched the WITSUP Scholarship Program for the Ambassador for 2013-2014.
Yep.
Tell me. I'm very excited about all the new stuff because last year's was hugely successful. You didn't really even know what you were doing. Let's just face it. You had no idea. You're just like, hey, I'm going to try and get stuff for awesome people.
Yeah.
And look how successful it was with Casey.
That was pretty much the proposal to everyone. Awesome people doing awesome stuff, give them stuff.
Boom, chest pump.
Yeah.
But this year, you're upping it and you've got some amazing people that have stayed on board and some newbies. Tell me through some of them.
Okay, so like you said, super exciting. We want to welcome back Liv Giant, who will be hooking you up with a bicycle, obviously.
I'm cycling under the table.
Very good.
It's like I'm weaning.
2 times you will be the official apparel sponsor.
Yes.
We've got Oakley back again as well.
For your headbands? Yeah. She does. She wears them as headbands all the
Such
time.
a lady.
Lady accessories.
They work pretty well as sunglasses as well.
Apparently they do.
Sports Dietitians Australia and Margs, who was the actual sports dietitian for Casey and helped her out heaps this year.
Amazing.
We've got Dextro as well, who Casey mentioned before.
Energy.
Yep. Shimano are back on board as well. This year, though, they are giving us pedals, shoes and wheels as well. So they've upped the ante.
Thank you very much.
And the crew from Foot Pro as well are back again. Now, our newbies this year, and this is crazy exciting, the crew from Tri Travel, Elite Energy and the Fiji Triathlon, who are putting up a huge prize. Basically, at the end of the season, the winner will get a trip to the Fiji Triathlon to take part in the short or the long course there. They'll get 5 nights accommodation for free for 2 people. They'll get flown there. Plus, all the Elite Energy entries are free.
Yep.
Plus, Tri Travel are giving away a $500 voucher for each Elite Energy race that you do. So, boom! Unbelievable. We've also got our good mate Nick King from Sunny King Paddleboards, who you have known
I've known
years.
since I was a wee nugget. It's just weird, but
small world.
Amazing stand-up paddleboards, good for cross training.
Absolutely.
And ace fun generally.
Just fun. And we have got the crew from Funkita, Funky Trunks, who I love their gear.
Yes.
And I was so stoked to get them on board as well. So they've got really cool bathers and swimwear and whatnot.
So you're decked.
You are kitted out.
Hardcore. Now, I want to know though, obviously there's a lot of people that applied last year and it's going to be kicked up heaps this year. What do you need to apply? You've got to go online. Now, Case had some great advice on what she thought everyone should do, but I want to know from the woman who has the final say, That's you, because you're a woman and you have the final say. What are you looking for?
Well, I'm just going to break that down a little bit. So basically, people will send in their applications and videos, and then they will get shortlisted, and we'll have a short list of about 8 to 10.
Yep.
Those 8 to 10 people then will, our judging panel will then look at it, which includes Belinda Granger, Beck Keat, Ellie Franks, Emma Jackson, and Leanne Southwell will look at it and help me vote as well.
Got a bit of experience and knowledge there, Steph.
A little bit. Massive name dropping.
Yeah, I know.
Massive
Loving
name
herself sick.
Totally. Yeah, so a wealth of knowledge who will be helping me select, because honestly, I don't want to do it. Last year was very, very tough because we had some amazing talent and just amazing people. So on that, like Casey said before, it's not just about results. I'm really looking for someone who is passionate about the sport. If you've spent more than 5 seconds with myself and yourself and anyone involved with WITSUP, you'd know that we're passionate, we like to have fun, but at the end of the day, it's how we've been involved within the sport.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really looking for.
Energetic people who love the sport, who are supportive of women, positively supportive of women, and know how to work a brand as well, because like we were saying, it's not just about racing and training, it's also about selling yourself and selling your sponsors, and it's not just results based.
I want to see something different and sincere as well, and like Casey said, you need to be yourself, because I will do my research, but we'll also see through that as well. Go on. Watching you. So I guess my best piece of advice is be yourself, but do something a little bit different. Do something that stands out, because a lot of people are going to be doing the same thing and saying, this is how I can be a great ambassador. But think outside the square. We want to grow this sport. We want to grow WITSUP as a brand, and we want to look after all of our ambassadors along the way as well. But we also want someone who is approachable. Yeah. We want people to come up to you and ask you for advice throughout the next 12 months, and we need a personality out there.
Do you know what I look for, which I loved about Casey? That is, and I think it's a big reason why you even started WITSUP in the first place, is I want to see someone who I can aspire to as a newbie, like someone who makes me want to get into the sport, or makes me excited that I've just done my first mini and I want to step up to a sprint, or just someone who is enthusiastic about it, who makes me want to be there, makes me want to get involved.
Absolutely. Ditto.
Yeah. So now you know what to do. WITSUP.com.
Correct.
Get involved, get online, and get sponsored, yo. Well, we have come to the very end of our first webisode of WITSUP TV. We hope you enjoyed it. We did.
We absolutely did.
I think I enjoyed it slightly more than you did, Steph, not the competition.
Everything's a competition.
Yeah, it is. But it's been an awesome time, and we want to say a very, very special thank you to...
Yes, to White Cafe, found Glen Huntley Road in Glen Huntly. And they also own Artful Dodger at the other end of Glen Huntly Road in Elsternwick. They're taking over Glen Huntly Road. And you can also find School of Seven Bells, Chapel Street in Windsor. They're a great crew to be hanging out with, drinking lattes and all sorts of stuff.
Do you like my hand modelling?
Very, very good.
Do you think I'd get hand jobs if I tried?
Oh, who else do we need to talk about?
We need to say that we do it for you guys. And so, see, wow. We want to see if there's anyone you want us to talk to.
Yep.
For the next episode or the episodes in future. Anything you want to see, any ideas that you have.
Anything topical that you want us to talk about.
If you have any song requests, I love singing unnecessarily on camera, maybe some choreo. Love a good tap dance.
Oh, the shimmy.
I didn't mean to shake them, but they just got all up in it there.
Triathletes don't have shaky, shimmy
So I've got enough for both of us.
Thank you.
Oh gosh,
carry on.
Good friends, aren't we?
Yes.
Also, do you know what we need? We need a sign off.
We don't have a sign off.
No, we don't. We the close your eyes and look at us. The second we can perform, it's awesome fun.
I think that one's taken though.
Yeah, I know. I have a feeling, and I don't think we could afford the Beatles.
Yeah. Is that the Beatles?
Yeah, that is. It's the Beatles. It's okay, Steffi.
Wow.
Steffi. But if you do have any suggestions, please write into us. Gosh, I've hugged you so many times.
I know, I feel dirty.
I don't like lady touching that much.
We spent a lot of time touching each other. Oh,
start again,
on the way down to Ironman Melbourne, we were on the back of she was riding a scooter.
4 in the morning.
It's on a highway down to Frankston, which Highway to Frankston is scary. Makes for a good song.
It's like the highway to the danger zone. But actually, it is the highway to the danger zone.
It definitely is. But yeah, spent way too much time hugging, freezing. Well, my boots froze well off.
But you were like holding me like a bear from behind, and you had legs squeezing both sides, and we literally spent the whole time going, ooh, touching. Oh, so much information. But yeah, send stuff in.
Yes, sign off. We need a good sign off because
you can't just like go, bye, good night, Australia, or like, because that would be stupid. Oh no, maybe we can just do that. Thanks for joining us.